This short tutorial provides explanation on the main terms used in IRB Manager. You may also find it useful to print out the quick reference document to keep by your computer. Let's look at the dashboard when our industrious principal investigator John P.I. is logged in. Starting at the top in the upper blue bar, note the home link that always brings you back to this screen. On the right of the upper blue bar, the Find Study search box lets you find a specific study with a full or partial study number. You can also use this box to search by a partial title. Under the blue bar, you will see three sections: Studies, X-Forms, and Events. Let's start with Studies. The study record in IRB Manager is the container for all study data. It will contain your application to do research, the files associated with consent or recruitment, the list of study personnel, and more. If it were a paper file, it would be the fat accordion file holding all documents related to your project. The first line is for studies on which you are listed as personnel in any capacity. Subsequent lines are broken down by role on the study. Here, John is PI on 19 studies and COI on 1. Each line has two links, one for active studies and one for total studies. Active studies are studies that have been approved and are not yet expired. Total studies include studies not yet approved as well as expired, terminated, or withdrawn studies. The links open new pages that list the items in that link. Next are X-Forms. X-Forms are electronic forms that move through a set workflow path. These forms are analogous to a packet of papers that move from desk to desk and are acted upon, signed, added to, or commented upon. Unsubmitted forms are forms that are in the very first data collection stage. Forms being processed at a later stage are forms that have been submitted and are moving through workflow. Forms awaiting your attention require your direct attention to move on. This is your to-do list. Next are events. Events are things that happen through the life of the study. All studies start with an initial submission event, and they may move on to having amendments, renewals, deviations, and finally a closure event. Each of these events has a separate workflow and review procedures which are captured in events. Event types all have a different color to help you differentiate between them. Each event type will have a new line, color, and description. Total Open Events allows you to see all current events in one list. The pie chart gives you a picture of your whole research portfolio by event type. At the bottom is a list of active studies in which you are involved. In the last column to the right, you can find the reference documents for your active studies. Reference documents are the stamped and approved versions of the important documents for your study. On the left, in the left menu, the top section labeled Actions are things you can do in the system. The new IRB Research link is to start a new IRB application. Start X-Form gives you a list of X-Forms to pick from. Show Sponsor IDs lets you toggle between seeing UT's study ID and the sponsor's ID in the My Studies list at the bottom. Recent items list the last studies or records you have accessed. The Messages section is for IRB administrators to broadcast messages to users. The Useful Links provides quick access to the most important IRB pages. My Documents and Forms contains links to all the documents associated with your user record, such as HIPAA training certificates, and all the X-Forms you have ever initiated.